guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pika and I do fragrance reviews. So welcome back everybody. I hope that you're having a nice weekend so far. I'm filming this on a Sunday, so in case if I post this on a Monday, happy Monday, even though I know how horrible Mondays can be. So this is my blessing to you in the future. And today's video is really cool, I think, and it's more centered around really lavish, outstanding, attention-grabbing kind of fragrances. These are fragrances that command the room because of how strong and powerful these are. It's not just about the performance, guys, either. These are quite obnoxious fragrances, and what we mean by obnoxious fragrances are maybe fragrances that are slightly more unique, that are stronger in, say, the base, maybe with sweeter, more out there kind of notes. So these are all statement making kind of fragrances. These are fragrances that will enter the room for you, which is sometimes a good thing. Sometimes you do want to stand out, hence my very bright orange shirt, which doesn't necessarily go with my transparent skin, but we're just going to roll with it. So these are all statement makers in their own individual kind of way. So let's just jump right into the video. So the first fragrance is from a house which is known to be quite brash and quite out there, and this is one of probably my favorite out of the entire line for the women in this house. I've really tried my best to try as many of them as possible, but so far this one is definitely my favorite, and that is Portrayal Woman from AMOUAGE. This baby right here is such a unique fragrance, and my boyfriend really loves it, which I never knew that he would like something like this, because it is definitely obnoxious. It's there, it's ready for you to smell it. And this fragrance contains notes like tobacco, ELEMI, vanilla, and jasmine, and I believe there's a note of either tuberose or gardenia. That's what I'm kind of getting from this. I'm getting a real buttery kind of feeling, which I'm not sure where that's coming from, but my guess is there must be another white floral in there. So this smells incredibly sweet, and it's almost it's in the realm of going into cloying without it being cloying, if you know what I mean. So this is definitely very strong on the vanilla. The way my boyfriend described this, which is kind of, I do kind of get it. If you guys have ever smelt the Coca-Cola Haribo sweets, it kind of has that like Coca-Cola kind of vibe, but being obviously much more mature and elegant with that jasmine note. So overall, it's incredibly sweet. It's very vanillic, without it being like vanilla pod. It's more like vanilla syrupy kind of thing that you get in here. And I think that is in combination with the resins. I think the resins mixed with the vanilla is making like this syrupy, sticky vanilla type of vibe. So this is really gorgeous. If you've not tried it, please ladies, give it a go. So that is Portrayal Woman from AMOUAGE. So this next fragrance is definitely attention grabbing. This thing is so unique. It's honestly insane. And this is from Xerjoff. This is from their Join the Club kind of collection, and Join the Club collection features either different shops or different societies represented by a fragrance. So this is called JTC 400, and this is an exclusive for Selfridges, and I have worn it quite a bit, but that was mostly in the winter. Now that we're in the spring or summer, this is just too much. Maybe on a night out, maybe, but this is definitely very attention grabbing. So this fragrance features a lot of notes, but predominantly, let's give it a sniff. Predominantly, it's a really dark honey mixed with a really creamy YLANG. Oh god, this is so damn good. I feel like there's a real big note of jasmine in here. I've said it in the past, but I really I really don't know. I'm kind of getting this jasmine thing going on, like something really indolic. And that's not just coming from the honey. This is like an indolic bomb, and then settles down into a more woody, more sheep kind of base. But overall, what is the most standout for here is this dark honey and ylang note. This is making it very buttery, quite indolic, slightly animalic without it going into that really weird, funky kind of animalic thing that most fragrances go into that have animalic notes. This is very, very obnoxious, and the performance is insane. Like really, really insane. On my skin, it really does magic, magic, magic. So if you've not tried this one, please give it a go. This is JTC 400. Now moving on with the honey kind of theme, I think you guys have noticed that I'm featuring a lot of fragrances with more darker, richer, opulent notes, because that's what I found that really, really grabs people's attention. Sometimes with more brighter fragrances, they can definitely grab people's attention, but this is literally like if you want to make a room know that you're there, if you know what I mean. And this one is called TOBACOLOR. This is from their new, this is a new release from their Privé kind of collection, and I did film a specific review on this a long time ago now. Exactly when I got this fragrance, I was like, right, I need to make a review on it. But it didn't really go as well as I wanted it to go. I don't know why. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to YouTube. Not in terms of looks, but in terms of like how I want the video to turn out. That's kind of like a pet peeve of mine within myself, but that's something that I will certainly fix in the future. And this is a honey bomb. This really is. This is definitely probably one of the most obnoxious from that Privé collection. This is very, very different from pretty much all of them. But it kind of still has that Dior underlying. I feel like Dior fragrances, all of the Privé ones, have this underlying musky woodiness going on. And I really don't know where I'm picking that up from, but that's what I've noticed anyway. And this one, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, but it's definitely leaning more on the masculine side, and that's what I tried explaining in my review when I was reviewing this fragrance. So the reason why I think this is definitely a little bit more on the masculine side is because I do get a little bit of smokiness from it, not in the way of it being ashy in any type of way, but this really cloudy, smoky kind of vibe. That's what I'm picking up. And I also pick up on a lot of gourmand spices like cardamom, like cinnamon. I don't even think that's listed in the notes, but that's kind of what I'm getting with this fragrance, alongside this really sweet, darker honey. This is more like a Manuka honey, not like a yellow random supermarket honey that you find really often. This is definitely darker, a little bit going into the JTC 400 kind of route, but without the floral woody nuances. This is definitely more fruity, more spicy, and a little bit smoky. So that is TOBACOLOR. So a newer one to my collection, and one that I've been absolutely head over heels, and I am really, really savouring this very tiny bottle for when I'm going out. I'm going out with my girlfriend Sento soon for her birthday in Manchester, so I will most definitely take this with me. And yeah, I will definitely be using this because it's definitely attention grabbing. It commands a room, and I think it's one of the best performing oud fragrances from the Fragrance de Bois line, and this is called Oud Rose Intense. Now, Oud Rose Intense really, really astonished me because this is not exactly what I was expecting, and as I explained in my last Fragrance de Bois video, I really struggled finding a fragrance that really suited me and that was worth me spending a lot of money on, because as you guys know, Fragrance de Bois is an expensive brand. And it's not like every single fragrance worked for me. I think they're all very beautiful, but not necessarily ones that I would gravitate towards, if you know what I mean. But I did end up finding two that I really loved. I'm still thinking about Milano and maybe another one, but so far I've picked up 2, and this is one of them. This is Oud Rose Intense, and this opens up with a lot of fruitiness, and I'm picking up like a mixture. I don't know whether I'm just making this up or whether this is actually in the notes, but I'm picking up on a slightly like mandarin orange mixed with maybe some raspberry. It's really weird, like I'm detecting 2 specific fruits in here, and they're probably not even those fruits, but maybe like if you can imagine the mixture of those 2 mixed with a really juicy note of geranium. And I love geranium flowers. I think they are so beautiful, very sweet, slightly soapy, slightly fruity as well. They're just gorgeous. And then you do definitely get this red rose. It's not dark, it's not bitter in any way. Freshly bloomed red, sweet red rose. When did I say red? I've said red 3 times, I think. Let me stop saying red. But this is absolutely incredible. It has sandalwood in here, which gives it a real creaminess. And in my opinion, I actually detect more sandalwood than oud. The oud in here really plays a very small role, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just when you market it as an oud Rose Intense, those are the 2 most prominent notes, you would think that oud would be the most prominent note alongside the rose, but it's not. It's definitely sandalwood, geranium, rose, and then the fruits at the top. So this is just really amazing. So far I've actually had a few compliments on this from a few, I would say, like family members, my partner's family members. They really loved this, and yeah, I really love it. So that is Oud Rose Intense. Okay, so the next fragrance is technically a leather fragrance. Now, this to me is a real weird one because I hardly detect the leather, but if I do get the leather, it's more like a suede leather, which I was thinking, what is giving this like this real smoothness? And then I realized it's definitely coming from the suede. So this is DELMA by VIDIAN. This fragrance is absolutely out of this world. I've already had a couple of compliments from this fragrance, and wow, this is just absolutely insane. So what does this fragrance smell like? This is incredibly complex. You get a lot of fruitiness from this peach, and I'm detecting also orange, but I'm not sure if that's in the actual notes. Oh my gosh, that is so good. It's ridiculously sweet. So if you're not into sweet fragrances, this is not for you. It definitely does have a little bit of a sourness, and I think I'm picking that up from the peach. Then goes into a floral mid. I pick up on a lot of geranium, guys. Like, I'm talking a lot of geranium. And that's what is giving this like real soapiness to the fragrance, and also fruitiness all at the same time. It's absolutely divine. And then goes down into a very smooth, silky, suedey kind of base, while still being a little bit powdery and soapy at the same time. So if you can imagine fruits with juicy geranium mixed with suede soapiness and a bit of a like powderiness as well. It's exactly what I'm getting from this fragrance. It's really divine. This is probably my favorite so far that I've tried from the VIDIAN line, and it really does demand a lot of attention. That's what I've noticed. This I wore with my leather jacket, and the 2 smells together were just wow. I haven't said that in a long time, but it was a wow, you know? So this is absolutely gorgeous. If you're in the market for a suede-like, fruity, floral fragrance, then this is for you. This is DELMA by VIDIAN. Right, so the next fragrance that I have is a designer fragrance, and this I haven't spoken about in quite a while because I was speaking about it quite a lot. The love that I have for this fragrance is so undivided, so real, so deep. I can't even explain, you guys. And as soon as I smelled this when it first launched, it was love, love, love at first sniff. This is Black Orchid Parfum from Tom Ford. This is obviously the flanker to Black Orchid, and this is less of a floral gingery version than the original. In all honesty, guys, I don't find the original to be overly floral. I find it to be quite deep, gingery, sweet and resinous all at the same time. This is more of a boozy and earthy take on the original Black Orchid. This has rum, it has patchouli and truffle, and the patchouli and truffle give it a bitterness and an earthiness in the beginning. This is so overwhelmingly good. I can never ever live without this fragrance. This I've smelled both on myself, on a guy, and I just can't. This is very attention grabbing. You will most definitely command a room with this fragrance, and I have already done so. When I wore this fragrance the first time that I got it, lots of people were looking my way because I think they could smell me walking in. It doesn't have the same kind of beastly performance that the original has, but it's still a very well performing fragrance, especially in the designer realm. So that is Black Orchid Parfum. So my loves, that was it for this video. As I said, statement making, attention grabbing, fragrances that will enter the room for you, and as you probably noticed, they were all kind of a little bit more on the darker side, having more opulent, complex fragrance notes. And I think that's kind of the key when you want an attention from a group of people or from a room once you enter it. I do think you need something a little bit more punchy, a little bit more complex and unique. So these are all fragrances that I think are literally perfect for this kind of thing. The only thing that I would say is that they can be cloying if they're overused. So please keep that in mind when you are spraying these fragrances. I hope that you all have a blessed week or a blessed weekend, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.